I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome back to another episode of Remember the Great Sports card show pickups. If you recall, I talked about Coach Estes and his card shows a little while back, and these are some items that Coach Estes sold to me. If you aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, I will put a link down in the description to that card show discussion. But let's just get right to what we're talking about here. Coach Estes bought a collection of autographs, and he got thousands, I guess you would say, of autographs that he purchased, and he was looking to move them. So he asked me if I'd be interested in taking a look at them. I wasn't interested in buying the whole lot, but I was interested in maybe picking a few out that I didn't have in my collection. You know, I didn't by any means cherry pick. I just picked a few out here and there. I left a lot of very good autographs in there for whoever, you know, wound up buying them after me or, you know, dealing with Coach Estes. So I didn't pull everything great out of there, but Coach Estes gave me a great deal on some stuff that I was looking to fill my holes in my collection with. But I'm going to go through these really quick here, at least this sheet, because these are the 94 Signature Rookies draft pick cards. And way back when, I bought a box of these, and I actually pulled the Nomar Garciaparra. Now, I don't know how many came in a box, whether it was 36, 24, or whatever, but I decided recently to start collecting this set. I have the Nomar Garciaparra, I have the Paul Konerko, I have the Aaron Boone. So I thought to myself, you know, if I ever get a chance to find these commons, I'm going to go, you know, pick some of them up. So I got these for 50 cents a piece, you know, which I thought was more than fair enough. But these by any means aren't big time players, like I mentioned. These are simply draft picks from the day, but, you know, for 50 cents a piece, I thought, you know, that's more than fair enough. And I shoved the cards in these pages because Coach Estes had about 3 to 4 binders of pages full, front and back, of just autographs. So I just grabbed one of the pages out of there and I started building my own pages. So that's how they became front and back like this. Now this second set that you see on here, these 92 Donruss Rookies, I'm also trying to complete that set. I have roughly about 50 or 60 out of the set signed, and I think there's, you know, 110 cards, something like that, maybe 90, I don't know. I'm nowhere near completing the set, so I wasn't too worried about it. But the two main cards out of the set are Manny Ramirez and Pedro Martinez. So if anyone out there has those two and they're looking to trade them, I might be interested in working out a deal. I also want to say, like, Jeff Kent's in the set as well. So let me know. So with the sets I'm collecting, I'm thinking of throwing a video together maybe with all the sets I'm trying to collect. You know, I'm very random with what I collect. I'm not somebody that's collecting a complete 1987 top set. I kind of try to go towards the smaller obtainable sets, at least obtainable in my means, in my budget. You know, like the 100 card sets, like those Signature Rookies, or, you know, even smaller set I'm working on is a 1988 Topps Traded Team USA subset, which is a subset within the traded set of 110 cards, or 132 cards. But I'm just specifically trying to get the 1988 Team USA guys all, you know, on signed cards. So I have Robin Ventura, so that's a good start, I guess. So moving on to this, we are, you know, these cards were very, very cheap also. Again, I put a binder together with guys that either I didn't have or guys that I knew were kind of deceased and wouldn't have an opportunity to get again. I was able to get a Raul Mondesi Sr. in the top left here. There's a Bobby Maddock, which I wasn't even familiar with who he was until I read the back of his card, and it's signed in pen. It's kind of hard to see there. There's a Kevin Foster, who's now deceased. He passed away. I think I want to say he had pancreatic cancer or He died of cancer, unfortunately, at a very young age. So, post-playing career. Here's an Anthony Young, who, was a Mets pitcher for a while. I want to say he played for the Cubs, maybe too. But he just recently passed away this past year in 2017. Here's also Frank Castillo, who also passed away recently in the last few years. All of these gentlemen died very young, from their various illnesses, and it's unfortunate, but that's what happened. This was one of my favorite ones to find out of the album, and this is actually, I'm going to pull it out and show it to you. This is a Lou Whitaker rookie card, and it's actually signed by the other three individuals. Now, if this one, the Sam Perlozo down here at the bottom, is not in the best of shape, and they're all in black, but if anybody knows of any access to getting Lou Whitaker, definitely shout out down at the bottom there. I know I've got some Detroit viewers out there. If you know of Lou showing up at a card show, or anything like that, and it's an affordable price, I might just pay, a few dollars to get this done, just so I can say I have the whole thing signed. And Coach Estes sold that to me for 75 cents. So 25 cents an autograph on that card. It's going to cost me a lot more than a quarter to get Lou to sign it, but it is his rookie card. Hopefully he'll be a Hall of Famer someday. I think he should be. His counterpart at short is now a Hall of Famer, so hopefully Lou will get in there as well someday. These bottom guys are some NBAers I did not have. Wayman Tisdale passed away a couple years ago as well. It's in pen, but you can't complain, I guess. It is signed. It's better than not having one signed at all. Joe Barry Carroll, I've never gotten him before. I think he signs through the mail, or at least he used to. Ronnie Cycli, same deal. I never got him before. I've seen that he signed in the mail in the past, but I don't know if he still does. So I definitely was looking to add that to the collection. Now on the back, there's a couple that, projects for me. I grabbed this Wayne Edwards, Matt Kinzer rookie up here, this 90 Fleer, because I think Wayne Edwards signs through the mail, and it's already signed in red Sharpie by Kinzer, so I thought, for 75 cents, why not? I'll grab that from him. I grabbed this certified Esteban Loaiza because I don't know if you guys are aware, he recently has had some legal issues. He was arrested for cocaine possession or something at San Diego airport or something along those lines. I just know that you may not be able to get Esteban Loaiza. He may be incarcerated for a while, so won't be able to get him anytime in the near future. Rob Piccolo here just recently passed away. I want to say the first of the year of this year, 2018. So added another one, to the collection that I didn't have, and unfortunately won't be able to get anymore because he passed away. And he'll definitely be in the 2018 version of the In Memoriam baseball video that I put together at the beginning of last year. I put together for 2017. Here's an 85 All-Star Lamarr Hoyt. I've never gotten Lamarr Hoyt before. He had a couple pretty decent seasons for the Padres there, and the same can be said about the guy next to him, Ted Higuera there, Mexican-born pitcher. Played for the Brewers, was a very good, left-handed starter there for a couple years for the Brewers, and I never had a chance to get his autograph, so I saw it and grabbed it. Elias Sosa, same deal. Didn't have, access to him ever before. Not sure if he signed through the mail or not, but I never had gotten him before, so I, added him to the collection. And this one I was happy to find. It's signed in ballpoint pen, but it is what it is. But it's a Mike Flanagan signed card, and if many of you don't know the tragedy about Mike Flanagan, he took his own life after battling a bout with depression, if I'm not mistaken. And it was tragic to hear, that those turn of events took place, and he tragically took his life, before it ended. So very happy to add all of these to the collection, but this isn't it, guys. You know, I'm telling you, these are the cheap ones, okay? Now, before I got a chance to look at these, you know, Coach Estes went through them himself, and, you know, he wasn't going to let something walk out the door for, you know, real cheap. I mean, he knows his stuff, to put it lightly. So, you know, he had a stack of, these aren't 75-cent cards, these aren't dollar cards, these are a little bit more, but I'll work with you if you want them. So I got these 4, and I'm very happy to have these 4 in addition to the album pages that I showed you there. And the first one is a 75 Topps Ron Santo, and this was signed, you know, nice bold blue Sharpie. He had a couple Ron Santos in his album. I chose this one over the other 2. Again, I wasn't trying to take everything out of his album that were, you know, worth a lot of money, so he could sell the albums as a bulk price. So he told me he'd sell me one of the Santos, so we negotiated on the price and agreed. And this next one, being a Cardinal fan, I have his autograph on a couple other random items that I've picked up over the years, but I never actually had one on a card. So I was happy to find this Terry Moore 1992 Cardinals card. And if you're from the St. Louis area, these McDonald's Cardinal cards came out when the Cardinals celebrated their 100th anniversary. And it was kind of similar to the McDonald's cards of the era from like basketball or hockey, I think, in some other areas of the country, that you had to buy a value meal and you got a pack of 3 for like $1.50 or 99 cents. So this set features, at that point up until 92, like 30 or 40, maybe even 50, I have the whole set somewhere laying around, of the greatest Cardinals ever to play. So this is definitely somebody that I've been looking for. He passed away shortly after this set was made. The set was made in 92. I want to say Mr. Moore passed away in 95 or 6. So there was only about a 3-year window to get this signed by him. And, you know, being it was in the St. Louis area where Mr. Moore passed away, it was very obtainable and believable that he, you know, signed this. And I compared the signatures to some of the others that I saw online, and they pretty much matched up. I also had a Terry Moore signature on a larger Cardinal item with like, you know, 15 other signatures on it, and it matched up pretty good. So I was happy to add that to the collection here as well. Now these final 2, I just couldn't believe he had. This is obviously somebody's personal collection that, you know, he was able to acquire, and this is an individual, I got 2 cards of him here signed, that was hands down one of my favorite players ever, you know, growing up during the era that I did. He tragically passed away a few years ago. He arguably was the most pure hitter from the decade of the 80s and even in through the 90s. And that is 2 signed cards by the San Diego Padre great, Tony Gwynn. Now both of these Gwynns are very happy additions to the collection. I've gotten Gwynn on a couple other items. I never had an opportunity to meet him, to get him in person, so I don't know authenticity of any of the Gwynns in my collection. Every one is a raw, you know, ungraded, non-pack certified autograph. So I've found his autograph a couple places here or there, but mainly they're on, you know, cards like this with no authenticity. So they might be real, they might not be real. So I took the gamble with these. I hope they're real. I mean, they seem to be legit, but you just never know anymore. And if any of the viewers out there are interested in trading, you know, for one of these, I would be open to a trade if, you know, they are found to be genuine and I'm not getting comments below saying those are fake. So I'll hold them up to the screen a little closer, because if you are interested, you know, we can definitely talk about maybe making a deal or something along those lines. If I were to trade, I would, you know, be looking for an equal Hall of Famer of this caliber. I mean, somebody obviously, you know, like a Chipper Jones or something like that, I wouldn't be too interested in, because, you know, Jones is still alive. He's still making autographs. You know, he's not in this caliber, in my opinion. I'm not talking about what they accomplished on the field. I'm just talking about collectible wise. Chipper Jones has signed a lot of things, and they're out there. Tony Gwynn isn't signing anymore. So if you are interested in either of these, you know, we can definitely, you know, do some discussions, and either send a comment below, and, you know, or send me an email. I'll put my email in this description, and we can go from there. There are a few people that are on my want list that I've never gotten before, so I may consider trading one of these two for that, you know, individual, if you happen to have that right person. And I'm not going to bore you with who that is at this point, but very happy to add these to the collection. Some card show pickups, you know, from Coach Estes again, and I go back to, click the link down in the description, and you can see about his upcoming card shows throughout the Midwest. And if you do see Coach Estes, just mention that you saw him on Remember the Greats Sports channel, and he'll definitely appreciate that, because we have talked about me possibly going to one of his shows and recording and interviewing some people, and, you know, checking out their booths and their tables. So love to hear your comments below. Tell me what you think.